Hey family, thanks a lot for tuning in. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video. I'm actually wearing this t-shirt. It says CF Christian Fellowship, and that was like, I just found this in my closet. It was a t-shirt that we made back when I was in high school for the Christian Fellowship Committee, and I just sort of look cool wearing it. If we went to high school together, you've got to give this video a thumbs up. You know, back when we were in Christian Fellowship. I think this was actually from 2011. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, I did a video giving my testimony on how I overcame fornication and how that process, how it happened. But I didn't. I told you about the event. I told you about the time. I told you about how I cast out a demon. And if you didn't watch that video, I'm gonna put the link in the cards, and you can just press the I up there and you'll get to that video. But after that, right? Okay, so I cast out the demon, right? And after that, things progressed pretty well. I could tell the difference. I could sense the difference. I could see the difference, But I slipped again, right? So actually, so that was in 2017 when I did that, right? Then I slipped again. I think it was a couple of months later in 2018, early parts of 2018. Then I slipped again at the end of 2018, right? So, hey guys, I want to be honest with you. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It hasn't been easy, right? So I slipped again. Though we had dealt with the things spiritually, like I told you about the demon and whatnot, that wasn't the end of it, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it was not the end of it, right? I thought it was, and it was spiritually, but there had to be a process. There's a process that you sometimes have to go through to fully get rid of old bad habits. Yeah, so like I said, I cast the thing out, and then I thought I was all good to go. Then a couple of months later, the person I was like entangled with showed up and I slipped. Then I was like, okay, God, thank you, Lord, for forgiveness. Thank you for forgiving me. It's done. Then a couple of months later, like at the end of the year, I put myself, I think it was November or October 2018, right? And I put myself in a situation I couldn't get out of, right? So, it was my fault, and I couldn't get out of it. Then I slipped again, right? They were like, oh, man, I was like, oh, because especially that one in 2018, I really felt like this was the ultimate test. God was like, you know what, TJ, you say you've come far. Let's see how far you've come, Firstly, I put myself in a bad situation. I actually went over to that person's home, and it was like in the middle of the night. And let me tell you what happened, right? So it was in the middle of the night, right? And she didn't have it. This is stupid, right? This is really stupid. I was being so stupid. I thought I was like strong. I thought I could like overcome, right? But this is what happened, right? So I had gone to her city, her university city, to there was actually a church meeting, right? So I went over for a church meeting in her university city, right? Then I invited her, because she's from a different church, I invited her to come over. And she came through the meeting. Then I didn't have anywhere to sleep. So I was like, okay, can I come sleep over at your place, right? So we got over to her place, right? And we chilled. We had something to eat before we came home. We chilled. Then guess what? There was one bed. So in my mind, I was still like, no what? It's sorted. I'll sort this out. I'm good, right? So got there at 10 p.m. after the church meeting, after getting something to eat. Then I was like, Okay, so now there's only one bed. I'm like, chill. We put on a movie, she's trying to touch me, she's trying to come all on me. I'm like, you know what? I'm not even into that anymore. I'm not even into that. I'm not even into that. And I stayed strong. I stayed strong for like a good 3-4 hours, bruh. Then at 2 or 3 a.m. Anyway, guys, that's what happened. So I slipped again. And I was like, what the hell is going on? But I gave myself, I was like, okay, God, back in the day, I wouldn't even have been able to hold out for that long. So thank you, God. At least I know I've changed. And even when I went back home, and she's like, wow, she messaged me, it's like, you've changed so much. I mean, back in the day, you would have just jumped on me. What's happening to you, right? Okay, but but don't be stupid. I was so flippant stupid. Like, the Bible encourages us to flee from fornication. It doesn't say stand in a ring with it and punch its lights out. No, you have to flee from fornication. So that's the truth, guys. So after all that, the fasting, I did slip twice, right? And yeah, it happened. I slipped twice, right? Then that was in 2018. Then I was like, you know what, God, it's game on. It's game on. It's game on. It's game on, God. Thank you for bringing me this far, but I want to go as far as you want me to go. So the next milestone I had to hit was to do at least a year, without sleeping with anyone, without fornication, right? And I pushed, man. I was like, the entanglement I got rid of, right? I got rid of. I made the decision. I prayed about it. I spent time in the Lord's presence, and He delivered me even from the entanglement. I know people talk about soul ties. I'm not really going to get into that because I don't fully understand the concept, but I was in an entanglement, right? So the last time I slept was in November 2018. I'm going to put it as October or November. So I stayed strong, right? And I was like, God, I'm going to do at least a year. And that was my mark. I wanted to do at least a year. And lo and behold, I made a year, right? I made a year. And I was like, wow, God, I just done a whole year of not sleeping with anyone, of not going back to my ex. And remember I said that back in 2018, it felt like God wanted to give me an opportunity to see how far I'd come, right? So in 2019, another opportunity came, right? I went to a concert, right? I didn't plan to see my ex. I went to a concert, and I went to this concert, and she was there doing her own thing she was doing her own thing, right? And so I was chilling, I was listening to music, hanging out with some of my friends at this concert. It was really nice. And then later on, we talked a bit, but I was keeping it professional. Because I was like, hey, I'm not going back to Egypt. That was my mentality. I'm not saying she was Egypt, but the place I was in previously was Egypt. I was in a prison. And so I saw her at that concert, right? And, we talked a bit. I was being cordial, but I was being professional. I was really making sure that I look out for myself and I keep myself clear. Then later on, it got darker. The concert kept on going. And then there was a time when I walked to a car to do something, right? Then I hugged her. And at that moment, there was a clear opportunity to do something, to touch her inappropriately, to try kiss her, to do something inappropriate, but I didn't do it. And when I left that place, I was like, boss. I want to be honest. I was like, what? Did you just walk away, bro? Did you just clearly walk away? Did you just... Wow. I was like, God, you are good. God, you're good. I walked away, and I was like, and like I said, like in 2018, I felt God was giving me an opportunity to see how far I'd come. And now He had given me another opportunity to see how far I'd come, right? And I didn't do it. And that was, what was that? That was 2019, October-ish, September-ish. I didn't do it. And I want to thank God for how far He's come. So if you're dealing with fornication, if you're battling with fornication, guys, I want to tell you, Kuti, you're not alone. First, you are not alone. King Solomon talks about how there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing fresh under the sun. David dealt with it, Abraham had Hagar, so it happens. Jacob had a couple of wives, it happens. Solomon himself had concubines, it happens, right? But I want you to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It was never God's intention for you to be in prison, and to be imprisoned by sex, to be imprisoned by lust, to be imprisoned by fornication. He never designed you to be in prison. He designed you to be free, right? So there's life at the end of the tunnel. And if you stick to the Lord, I love what Pastor Chris continually says. He says, if you stick to the Word, you will come back with a testimony. So if you stick to the Word, you stick to prayer, you stick to Word study, you focus on your spiritual growth, right? And I'm telling you, God will equip you with the feet to run. Like I said, we're not fighting here. When it's coming, there's a fight of faith, right? But when it comes to fornication, it's time for you to run. So God will give you the capacity to run away from it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and remember, you're not alone. Stay strong, stay in the presence of the Lord, and He will accomplish that which He has started. He who has begun a good thing shall perform it until the day of Jesus Christ, okay? Trust in Him. Have faith. Keep on going on. No matter how dire, how tough it seems, keep strong, because you need to win this battle. You can't stay where you are. You need to go where God has called you to